Hello and welcome back to The Founder. I'm Tashiya Segel and we're here with two new guests. I have the founders of Isle of Rataa, Nilusha and Heshani. How are you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Please tell me about you guys.
All right, so I'm Nilusha and I work in media, and I am someone who comes from a very financial background despite working in media. And now we have moved into a startup with Isle of Rataa.
Yeah, so I'm Heshani, and basically Isle of Rataa started during COVID time. Previously, I was actually working in the public sector, and I was heading an organization called the National Craft Council, which works with all the craftsmen around the country. But during COVID, we had all these artisans reaching out to us to kind of help them find a livelihood, because their livelihoods came to zero. And that's how basically Isle of Rataa was born. Nilusha, who's in media, and me, who has been working in the traditional craft sector, kind of got together and found a way to get basically the local artisans a place in the Sri Lankan online marketplace.
Exactly, because a lot of things, if we talk about one of the goals of Isle of Rataa, it's the fact that there are so many artisans in this country. There's about 56,000 artisans in this country, and a lot of them are based in a rural environment. They don't have the facilities to even sell their product to a Sri Lankan market. And these artisans catered mainly to the tourist market. If you look at everything they did was to the tourist market. And when COVID-19 happened, of course, tourism came to a halt. All these artisans lost their livelihoods. They had no idea who they're going to sell their goods to. And so they got in touch with Heshani, actually, because of her background in the public sector. And that's when we came together and we thought, hey, why don't we take what they do, we turn it into a more functional daily use product, and then we sell it to the urban market of Sri Lanka, because we have a big urban market in Colombo itself, if you just take this particular city. And a lot of the time we tend to buy stuff that are made overseas, all these imported products that are quite very affordable. And at the same time, we tend to think like anything that's made in Sri Lanka, that's handmade, tends to be extremely expensive. So with Isle of Rataa, we wanted to bring that affordable factor in, but at the same time keep the whole made in Sri Lanka factor, and give these people also something that they can work with, and a new function to what they have always been doing.
Right, so let's start with the name. Okay, Isle of Rataa, how did that even come about?
Oh, that came up
And
about
what does it mean? Yeah.
that came about on one fine day over coffee. I think we were brainstorming for 2 hours on a particular name. We wanted something that embodies Sri Lanka. We wanted something that really spoke about the products we did, and also spoke about the artisans we worked with. Isle is, of course, island, and Rataa is the plural of Ratava, which is pattern. So every artisan, they have a certain pattern when they work with, whether it comes to weaving, whether it comes to batik, anything they do, there's a pattern that they follow. So we thought of incorporating that in our name. If you look at our logo, we have English, Sinhalese, and Tamil in our logo, because we want to incorporate like the 3 main languages that are spoken in Sri Lanka as well, and something that is completely Sri Lankan.
Right, and obviously, I'm assuming this took a lot of planning and thought process, right? So obviously something like this probably won't come overnight. So what was that process like?
That was a long process.
It was. But I think even previously, Nilusha and I have been working together on various craft projects. As I said, like she was in media, and then she used to come on board with the public sector as well to kind of do different projects. So we kind of knew about the sector and what works and what doesn't work. And of course, during a lockdown, how do we market? How do we get to the artisans? It was quite a tedious task, even coming up with new designs. So it had a lot of R&D on our parts, and we have never been involved in design. But we, in the middle of a lockdown, you can't go and meet designers as well. So it was quite a process.
It was a process because a
Yeah.
lot of the things you had to do was over the phone, right?
Right.
And so earlier I told you about how some of these artisans, they are from rural areas, they don't have access to technology. Some of them don't even have WhatsApp, right? So even
No.
if we have like a design in mind, we couldn't even send them a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
They would have to go to their neighbor, they'd have to go to their relation who had
Oh,
like a
wow.
smartphone to get in touch with us. So we'd
Yeah.
have to, they'd give us a certain number and we'd send to that, and we'd have to wait like a day to get a reply
Oh my
from them.
goodness.
So we had a lot of that, but we worked. I mean, it was also during lockdown, right? We were doing all this, so it's not like they could leave the house and they could go to
Exactly.
someone else's house too. So they had to wait for lockdown to get lifted in that area to be able
Oh my goodness.
to even be able to send us samples of what we
Yeah.
had in mind. So it did take a
You
while.
guys have been through some challenges, huh? That's actually bringing to my next question. I was going to ask you what was the hardest challenge in all of this.
Yeah, communication. Like I
Yeah.
told you, just
Communication.
initially just getting our ideas across to them. It was
And
hard
also
because
sometimes the idea what we have is not practical. So we have to go to the workshop, sit with the artisan and see what is practical.
Right.
And we've learned so much just about the craft side and even about the techniques. So some artisans are able to do certain techniques, let's say even batik. Now I think when we see a certain design, we know, oh, it's this artisan or that artisan,
Right,
just by
right.
the
It's so
technique.
unique.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it has been, I mean, about communication both ways. I think even for the artisan kind of to tell us, okay, what is practical, what can and cannot be done. But I think this has kind of opened their eyes as well of what is possible.
Oh,
Um,
that's really sweet.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like Nilusha said, like if you look at batik, it has mainly been into fashion.
Right.
And we brought it into like a, utility-based item for tableware and different things. And they were also like, oh wow, this is actually possible. And from pottery to ceramic to palmyra, birolu.
Birolu.
Yeah.
We have so many. We've incorporated so many things in just daily, regular homeware, which you can just use every single day, which they never had because they think like ornamental piece. They think batik, birolu, they think fashion items. They think like, oh, one like centerpiece, which is like really expensive, and they don't think functional use out of it. And like, when you can use it in a functional daily environment, then more people are more inclined to actually buy products on them. And also it's extremely good quality products because
Right.
it's all made in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
It's all handmade. It's extremely good quality, durable products as well. So
Right, and you're giving a lot of people opportunities as well. That's just amazing that you guys are doing that. Now, speaking about getting your products out there, what's the marketing strategy that you rely on?
we rely heavily on social media, especially in a day and age like this. Social media is extremely heavy, and because of lockdown, it's not like we could physically go out and open a store. And one of our main things is we wanted to make it extremely affordable to our customers. We wanted them to realize, okay, this is really good. It's also at a very good price point. And if we started a store and all, I think the price point would have just like increased exponentially. So we kept it social media. We marketed completely on social media, and we kept our prices affordable. And I think that our unique selling point is our price point.
Right.
Because people come, they realize, oh wow, like, getting batik serviettes from you, getting batik tableware or birolu tableware, or even palmyra is just extremely affordable, unlike if they go somewhere to a physical store and get it.
And I think we also had a few events after lockdown. One was Rataa Shack, where we
Yes.
collaborated with the Sugar Shack. And that was also quite a great event where people could come and see and feel and touch the product, because like the old school consumers, they're a bit worried and reluctant to buy it online. And also what was great was we were able to show, demonstrate. So we had demonstrations there,
Okay.
and they were able to see the effort that goes into making these products.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And
I'd definitely be interested in like touching something like that. That's really cool.
Absolutely. And then later on, we had some training programs as well.
Yeah.
One was in Nuwara, where it was more to give more like employment opportunities to women of the upcountry. But the other one that we had in Colombo was again to kind of like get the feel of the craft. And I think after our batik workshop,
Yes.
the ladies were like, okay, we are never going to bargain on batik ever again. Like, this is so tough. So like that, just like we rely heavily on social media, we try to have events, when we can and when it's safe, just to get the story of the craft out there. And that has really helped as well.
One of our main things, like Hesh said, is
Right.
getting the story out there, making sure that people realize, get to know the people behind the product. It's not just the product per se. It's like the person who's making it. Who is this person? How long have they been making it? And also the process that goes into making it. Because you think, oh, this is too much for this particular product. But when you see the time that goes into it, the raw materials, the effort, and it's completely handmade by these people, then you realize, oh, wait, this is actually worth the price. Or am I paying too little for this as well?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because the time as well, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of people, before we move any forward, let's give a big shout out going out to the Colombo Cooperative, who's made all of this possible, our venue sponsor. And, they're all about creating modern workspaces for companies of all sizes. They would like to know what community really means to you and how you would build it.
Isle of Rataa is all about community. We are all about our artisans who work with us, and also our customers who we have the pleasure of serving as well. We want to make sure our customers are extremely happy with the product that they get. They are part of our community, and also that our artisans feel like they're getting a fair price for the work that they do, and they are a massive part of our community. We want to make sure that for them, that they have a livelihood, that they know, okay, this is part of their future. So community is extremely important for us. We are built on a community, a community of artisans. So, yeah.
Of course. And what would you say up to now? It's been like almost a year, right? Having your
Coming in for a year.
July 2020
Now,
is
this
when we
answer will
started.
probably differ from each of you, but what is your definition of success?
Oh,
You want us to take it individually?
yeah.
Up to you guys.
You go first, Hesh.
Okay, so for me, I think, and part of what Isle of Rataa is bringing Sri Lankan crafts to the forefront and kind of showing it to the modern world and saying that no, it's not just a traditional outdated thing. We can use it on a daily, in our daily lives. And also having a place for the artisans. There are lots of stories behind these crafts, each craft sector. So there is 21 main sectors that are considered traditional handicrafts in Sri Lanka, and each one has a different history, a different story, and a different community. For example, like the Palmyra is mainly in the northern sector, and something very similar to it is called Talipot, which is in like the northwestern and western areas of Sri Lanka. So each craft has a different story and a different community, and if we can give a place to those communities in the modern commerce world, I think that's a success story for Isle of Rataa.
Yeah.
And
Nilusha, I'll go on that.
She's like, I'm with her on this.
Okay. I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I understand. Now, you guys are your own boss. Would you ever work for someone else?
I do work for someone else. So there is that. This is, we have our other jobs as well.
Right.
So the Isle of Rataa is not the sole job we have, but we do have our other jobs. And I guess I can't answer that question.
Right.
Yeah, but you could answer it.
It's good. I mean, being your own boss.
Yeah.
But I think like when I was working in the public sector, I realized like having a boss and then working with different teams, like it's very structured, right? And that is also good. Like it brings in a lot of discipline. And then you learn so much about administration and things. Whereas when it's your own thing, you kind of can like get sidetracked
I like you can get sidetracked on one point, but one thing that I like about is that we don't have to ask someone else, oh, so is this okay?
Yes.
We can, please approve. We don't have to send an email saying please approve or like any of that. You just approve it yourself, and usually it's just a chat between the both of us, and we are usually like 90% of the time on the same page for almost
95%.
95% of the time.
Yeah.
Same page on everything. We have a few like disagreements, but like it's not too bad.
Part
Yeah.
of it. It's
Yeah.
Exactly.
part of the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
And it's not like we like when you work for someone else, you have to really sell what you are pitching to them
That's
because
right.
it doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to sell what you're pitching to them.
Yeah.
Over here, we just have to sell it to ourselves. So we're just
Yeah.
like, is this a good idea? Maybe let's go with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You guys are a good, I can already tell you guys are a really good team. I
Oh.
should say,
Oh.
right?
Thanks.
Yeah, we think we're a good team.
Okay.
We were very worried initially because, you know, you have this saying in Sri Lanka, not I think around the world as well, don't mix friends and business, right? We are best friends. We thought of going to business. I think in our initial, like first official, unofficial meeting
Yeah.
before this all started, we laid out the ground rules like we're not going to let this affect our friendship. We do
Oh,
not
yeah.
want, if it's going to affect our friendship, we're just going to stop it
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
because
That's important,
we didn't,
right?
yeah, exactly. And we
Yeah.
didn't want that to happen. So far, so good. Touch wood. It touched goals.
Yeah.
It's been good so far. So yeah.
Alright, as you know, the show is called The Founder, and I have to ask this question. If you ever got the opportunity to sit at dinner, supposedly, with the founder of your liking, who would it be, locally or internationally?
Oh, wow.
Locally, international, that's a hard question. Locally, I
Yeah.
think it's a no-brainer, Tara.
Mhm.
I would love. She's like built a brand from the back of her car to what she's right now. So I would love to pick her brain and also get to know her
Yeah.
more. But internationally, oh, I'm thinking. I don't know, maybe. No, actually, I think it's just like locally, Tara. That's it.
Yeah.
If I can think of
Yeah, I
international.
think actually locally there are many companies and I mean who have gone into multinationals or like a multinational level or even very local level. Even in this sector, there are many companies who have started like from their garage and kind of built themselves up. So I think there are many people that I would like to maybe have a full table.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's
rather
really
than
cool.
just
That's really
just
cool,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
have
have
like
all
a-
the inspiration you can.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
and everyone's done so many things in their own particular field as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And
it's good.
Yeah, exactly. And someone watching this would look at you guys and look for inspiration. Is there any kind of advice you could give young entrepreneurs out there, you know, trying to start up their own thing, just like you guys did?
I would say just go for it. And I had a lot of doubt, even though I come from a business background and my family has a business as well. But to start something in the craft sector again,
Yeah.
which again I had experience, but I had so much doubts. And that's where I went to my best friend. I was like, hey, can you help me? Like, you know, how can we do this?
Right.
And thereby maybe partnering up with somebody
Yeah.
if you're worried to do it on your own. And in partnerships, of course, you know, there will always be a doubt, okay, like, will this work or will this not work? But that's business. You wouldn't know whether it will work or not unless you try it. So
Exactly. No, I have the same thing. If you're worried about something, just do it. Like the slogan goes, just do it. But another thing is, I know when we come up with, a lot of the times as entrepreneurs, as startups, when you come up with ideas and you share your ideas with your friends or like your family or close ones, you have a few naysayers because they are worried about you. Not because some of them could not be, but some of them, most of them are really worried about you and they'll be like, are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So I think one of the things that I had with Isle of Rataa, which I incorporated, both of us actually incorporated, is that we just spoke to each other about it.
Yeah.
We didn't speak to anyone else about it because we didn't want the negativity. We were like,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to get the negativity. We're going to start doubting ourselves. We're going to start doubting the idea. So we thought we'll just go for it. We'll think of, we'll put a plan into place on how we're going to do this and we'll just do it. And here we are, like, just doing it. I think I told my family, like, literally the day before we launched.
yeah.
Day before we
Yeah.
launched, yeah.
Same,
And my friends also got to know it like the day before we launched because, and that was it. And by that time, no one could say anything because
It was too late.
We were live,
We were
yeah.
like, quick, it's launched.
Please tell
Yes.
everyone where they can find your products and where you guys are.
So you can find our products online, of course, on Facebook and Instagram, Isle of Rataa, that is ISLE of RATAA on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us at our 3 retail partnerships. We are at the Design Collective, New Mother Concept Store, and Beverly Street in Rajagiri and Bamlapitia.
Well, thank you so much, guys,
Yeah.
for joining
Thank
me
you.
today, and I wish you all the very best of luck. And hopefully, there won't be any other lockdown situations
Oh,
or
hopefully
anything.
not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
All the best, guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Let's begin.